I made my little Kodama forest display box for my Smiskis. It is super cute. It was actually not that hard to make. You just need a shoebox, some crafts, and that's it. I wanted to display Smiskis, and Smiskis and Kodamas are so similar. I was like, they would go really well together. Hi friend! In this video, I'm gonna show you how I made this little display box. It's super cute and so easy to make. You will need a shoebox. It doesn't have to be clear like I got. I just wanted something more sturdy than a cardboard box. You're gonna need for this project some white glue. It doesn't have to be fancy, just a cheap one is fine as long as it dries clear. And some artificial grass mat for the background. I used some white air-dry clay for the pond and shaped it into a small circle using a cutter, then used the remaining to make little rocks to put them all around the circle to make it look like a cute mini koi pond, and made sure to seal everything with the tools that I had and some water. I added some clay in the inside of the pond and smoothed it out with the tools, and going to let it dry for 2 days. I started working on the forest with some preserved moss and got distracted by the little collectibles I'm putting in there, like this little cute temple guardian. I did some trees to map out in my head how I wanted this to look, and started working on the little staircase I wanted to use for my little temple. This clay was a little hard to use because I had it for a long time and I did not know that clay was perishable. Now that I had an idea of what I wanted, I started gluing together all the moss with the trees and used a little branch for Kawanashi's swing. Kawanashi is no face, by the way. This is how my clay staircase turned out. I'm really not good at making staircases. And made a little rock for the statue to sit on, but it still has the finished look that I wanted, so I was happy. After gluing everything together and added some additional components to it, it was time to place my little forest spirits, the Kodama. They came in a pack of 10 and they also glow in the dark. It's so cute. After that, I added some more vegetation, some flowers to make a little bit more colorful. These are real dried flowers, so it smelled so good in that box. Now that I had the background, I placed all my little Kodamas. Kodama are Japanese spirits acting as guardians of the forest. They can actually curse you if you damage their trees. After 2 days, the clay pond was completely dry, so I sanded it to kind of make it more smooth before starting to paint it. I used a mix of 3 colors, some black, gray, and white for the rocks. I didn't want it to be too bright or too dark, so that was the perfect mix for it. Then used a mix of 4 colors for the water, 3 different shades of blue and some white with some green. I'm using acrylic paint, which is really easy to use on clay or any other type of material. And what I love most about it is that it dries extremely quick. And you also don't need to mix it with water. After I finished painting it, it dried really quick, but I still let it sit overnight just to make sure to not trap any moisture. Next day, I used some UV resin to make the water with a drop of blue colorant. And I wanted to match the fact that Smiskis and Kodama both glow in the dark, so I added some glowing powder to the mix. Always make sure to wear a mask and some gloves when you use resin. Before curing the resin, I added the little koi fishes in the pond to allow them to sit in the water, and cured everything with my UV light. And something really cool about this light is that it doesn't need to be plugged in the wall. So it's really easy to use and move around to make sure that the piece is fully cured correctly. After that, I added some details to the wood sign to make it look more like old, and wrote no fishing in Japanese and in English, but with a misspelling, because that's often something they do. The amount of English signs in Japan that are misspelled is ridiculous. The finish is not perfect, but it still looked pretty cute. Next, I had to finish the forest by adding a little shelf so I can display more Smiskis in it. I made it to where it blends completely in the decor, where we can barely notice it. I found a miniverse plant surprise box and I thought I could incorporate it in the decor, but I ended up not having the one I wanted. I really wanted the bonsai, but what I got was actually really cute and I still put it inside of the forest.
This was my first time opening a miniverse bowl and I did not know it looked like this. It's so realistic and the dirt was so gooey but not sticky. I actually enjoyed putting all this together and it even came with its own little display box. I'm definitely getting more of these later. Now I could finally see the end of this project. It finally looked more like what I had in mind. So now it was time to bring the stars of this project. My little Smiski friends. I bought most of these Smiskis when I was living in Japan, way before the trend wave started. And it's when I went back to buy more and all the shelves were empty that I realized it hit the internet. It was so hard after that to find any Smiskis on the market. But I'm glad I got a bunch of them because they're the cutest little people. I love how they look so random in this forest. And here's the finished look.
I had zero skills in dioramas before starting this project. I just had an idea and that's it. It took me only a few days to create this and it actually turned out really good. I'm so happy. I wanted to paint the box itself, but I had to sand it and I completely forgot when I started this. Right now it looks a little bit odd from the outside, but from the inside though, really hope you try it out because it was so relaxing and you can use this display box for anything else. You don't have to use it for Smiskis. I got everything for this project from online, so I will link everything in the description. I'm gonna be displaying this box right here in the middle of my display shelf because I think it's gonna look so cute. And I can't wait to make more dioramas to put on this shelf. It's gonna look awesome. I already have a few ideas that I want to create, like with Ponyo. I really enjoy Ghibli, so I'm gonna be doing way more dioramas inspired by Ghibli worlds, and I can't wait to share all of them. Hope you enjoyed the video and see you next time.